The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Salem Media of Hawaii.
Welcome to Generations Radio, where the focus is on our seniors and their families. We are here each Saturday afternoon from 5 until 6 p.m., bringing you resourceful information with our radio team of professionals in the field of aging. Stay with us for the next 1 hour as we explore different ways to make life more exciting and meaningful for our extraordinary seniors. Right here on AM 690 The Answer. And now, here is our host and the publisher of Generations Magazine, Percy Ihara.
And so welcome back to Generations Radio. I am Percy Ihara, your host here. Well, actually co-host, I should always say. And Melissa Mansfield, my local gerontologist from Altruist Medical. Welcome back to the show, Melissa.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for gathering all this information and great stories and great programs. In fact, we're not going to talk about seniors today.
No.
We're going to talk about
senior grandparents.
Grandparents today. So welcome to the show, the Foster Grandparent Program, Susanne Hall and Rosaline Makua'ole. So welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I've heard of this program for a while, not quite sure. So when I saw you last week, I said, you know what, we got to have you guys on the show. So give our listeners, and a lot of our listeners are baby boomers, so give our listeners some background on the program.
Okay,
Susanne?
so I think the first thing to clarify is that our volunteers are not foster parents. So they're not going to be taking a foster child home with them, although that's great and important work. Our foster grandparent volunteers serve in a school setting, and they go every day to that setting, and then they work with the kids, and then they go home, and then the kids go home to their own families.
Yeah, I
Well,
got kind of confused.
intergenerational.
Very true.
Okay.
But a lot of people think we're we're recruiting foster parents.
I
think
see.
because of our name.
Right. And I think I've seen, now that you mentioned that, I had an early client many years ago, probably at least 13 years ago, now I remember. They actually wanted to meet with me one day, but they had to go to some elementary school off of Oniava in Kailua.
Okay.
And so they said, only for an hour. I said, oh, what do you do? I said, oh, we go down and read to the kids every week. I said, wow, that's kind of a cool program.
Yeah.
So it's been around a long time, right?
Yes, 51 years in Hawaii.
That's a long time.
Yeah. We were one of about 12 pilot projects way back when. This is a federal program, and it's sponsored by the Corporation for National and Community Service. So this program exists nationwide.
Wow. Every state, huh?
Every state, right.
And so you run the program statewide, Susanne?
Yes, we do run it statewide. We have about 110 volunteers, and we have room for a lot more.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, great. I can't wait
Yes.
to be a senior.
So what they do, like I said, is we place them either in a preschool, Head Start, DOE, after-school program, tutoring program, and they serve 15 hours a week. And then for our volunteers that are in the classroom, they are with one teacher for the entire school year. And so that teacher will assign maybe about 3 to 5 children that need that individual attention by the volunteer. So the volunteer is not there to do bulletin boards or correct papers. They're there to interact.
To engage
Right.
with the student. Yeah.
Exactly. So some of the things that they're doing is reading to them, helping with homework, helping with class activities, helping with communication, just being there to listen. These kids have a lot to say. They have a lot of stories and situations in their lives.
Sure.
So oftentimes our grandparents are like that safe person that they can go to and speak confidently and confidentially to as well.
And they share the culture.
Very
together.
much so. And like you said, intergenerational, right? So there's something about a grandparent and a child, right? When they come together. And it's part of our lifestyle here in Hawaii as
Absolutely.
well, right? These multi-generational families, right? So kids here are used to having that grandparent or that older adult in their life, in their family. So then when they go into the school setting and they see one of our volunteers, they immediately gravitate.
So you brought, excuse me, I got a frog in my throat. You brought one of your volunteers, Rosalie.
Right.
How are you, Rosalie? And what school do you work with?
I work at Blanche Pope Elementary in Waimanalo. Right now I'm serving in the first grade.
Well, good for you. And how long have you been doing this now?
6 years. This starts my sixth
Really?
year.
Oh, good for
Do you get to choose which grade?
Yeah.
Maybe you gravitate to kindergartners over.
Well, I've been in third grade. I've served second grade, kindergarten, and this year first grade. So
You love them all.
I do. I
Good.
really like first grade. This year, and last year, I do like first grade.
Are there
What-
other volunteers at that school as well, or are you the only one?
We have one other one. We had a lot more, but for reasons they move or they, have got
Other-
tired and in ill health or whatever, move with their children on the mainland.
Sure,
It's all
you
different
got-
kinds of reasons
I'm
why
sure. And so,
they
Suzanne,
do.
what is the requirements to be? What does it take to be a volunteer?
All right, so this is a program to engage low-income volunteers. So there is an annual income requirement. However, if you exceed that, you can still volunteer, but you won't be eligible to receive the stipend. So
Oh, so the volunteer gets a stipend.
correct.
Oh.
So they get $2.65 for every hour of service, and that's non-taxable. So
Okay.
it doesn't affect any of the current benefits that they're receiving. In addition to the stipend, they get a meal allowance of $3 a day. We cover their travel costs, so we pay for mileage, and like if they ride the bus, we'll reimburse them for their bus pass. We provide training, and they get paid for the training. They get paid for holidays. And then I think most importantly, though, is this is a program that allows them to remain active
Right.
and engaged.
Sounds like a full-time job, though.
Well, it's 15 hours a week.
Oh, 15 hours a week.
Right.
So it's a part-time job.
So
But it's great because you don't really get that opportunity to get reimbursed as a volunteer, except for mileage. A lot of it is just your time, and then the opportunity to engage with the younger generation.
very true.
Yeah.
Very true. So we have an application that all of our people, seniors that are interested, they complete that application. We review that. We do have pre-service training as well. And we do a criminal history record check, a sex offender registry check. They do a physical exam, a TB test. So once all of that is completed and cleared, then they're ready to be placed in whatever school setting is
Very thorough.
their preference. Yes, and we take pride in that. So with the schools, we let them know, hey, nobody's coming to you until they pass all of our requirements.
Good. Yeah, that's really good.
And so, are most of the volunteers, Rosalie, did you choose that because you live in Waimanalo?
Right.
And do most volunteers choose? I would assume they choose schools that are close by.
They try to place us, the volunteers, close to the school where they live.
So, what do you like best about the first graders?
Well, when I first started, like I say, I was in third grade, and I mean I enjoyed every grade that I volunteered in, and the teachers also. We're a close knit school. I have to say, everybody is. It's really like a close ohana there. But this grade, every year, mainly after 3 weeks when school's been in session, like 3 weeks, the teacher has evaluated and knows where the kids that need a little extra help. So when she determines which kids do that, then I step in and I work with them. Not so much teaching, but positive influence, like telling them how important their homework is. Some of them come from homes where it's not a priority.
Right.
Doing their homework or studying or reading every night for 20 minutes, which they're supposed to do. They don't. So I try to instill in them the importance of learning to read and doing your homework and how it's going to affect you next year when you go to second grade. You want to go to second grade, right?
So on top of that, do you read with them? Do you maybe go over their coursework? I'm trying to see, because I know that you have a lot of knowledge to give. Besides your knowledge, do you have whether, I don't know, I'm thinking like cooking demonstrations or sewing, or, do you interact in that way?
No, not so much in that way. It's mostly with reading and math or whatever the teacher needs. I don't really correct papers. She does that. But this year we have 3 children that really need a little extra boost. And so I like that. I like working with those children because if I can, maybe it's the way I feel, I can make a positive influence on them when they grow up, that they'll
Give them some
remember guidance, positive,
Yeah.
do your homework.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
So what do you gain from this? What makes you keep on coming back?
Oh, I've been asked that a lot. And I think it's the special children that you start with at the beginning of the year, and then you see how they progress, and at the end of the year they pass. Especially last year I had a child who I worked with, and he couldn't pass test. He didn't do very well, but I worked with him, and at the end of the year he passed his assessment. And all the kids, they knew he was a little behind, but they were so supportive of him. And it just made me feel so good. And I see him at recess now because he's in a different grade, but he always comes and sees me. And all the kids return, and they always see me, even if they've left Blanche Pope. They're in 7th grade. I see them in the community, and they always come and talk to me. And it's just a good feeling.
Yeah, you make a difference.
It's a feel-good feeling. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you care about the program, but care about the kids out there. It's kind of good. It's in your community, like you'll see them around town, right?
Yeah, you do.
Good
But
for
gets you up. It's for my own self. It just gets you up and out of the house, and you're doing something.
Gives you a
Just
purpose.
Gives you a purpose.
Yeah.
I like that.
We all need a purpose to get up out of bed.
So we're here at the Foster Grandparent Program with Susanne Hall and one of their volunteers, Rosaline Makua'ole, from the teachers, helps down at Blanche Pope Elementary in Waimanalo. So Suzanne, what you need looking for more volunteers? Any specific areas?
No, we're not fussy. We're not picky. So, and there's schools in every community. So,
It's mostly elementary schools, though.
yeah, I would say for our volunteers, elementary, preschool, and Head Start. We do have a few at the intermediate and high school level. We have 2 in an after-school program and 1 in a private tutoring program.
Private tutoring program.
Right. But all of these are nonprofit.
Oh, okay.
The schools are nonprofit. Okay.
Yeah,
Or
you know, like
DOE.
Head Start or
Okay.
any preschool, they all have to be nonprofit, and that's a federal requirement for our
really?
program.
Charter school?
If it's
No.
nonprofit,
I thought all charter schools are nonprofits, no?
I don't. Well, we have volunteers at Kamaile Academy out in Waianae. I'm not sure if they're a charter school.
I'm not sure
But,
either. But
yeah.
So so a volunteer would sign up for what? I guess you said 15 hours, so 3 hours a day, pretty much.
Correct. Correct.
Can they do more than that?
They can.
Okay.
We have a lot of our volunteers do about 25 to 30, even up to 40 hours a week.
Nice.
Yeah.
But you can't work more than 20 hours without medical.
But this is a volunteer
Yeah.
Oh, the
program.
volunteer
And
position.
when they're
Ah,
not
and
employees.
tax-free money.
Yes, they're not employees. They're volunteers. Right.
So, how do they get a hold of you?
Okay, so our phone number on Oahu is 832-5167, and they can call us, and we can mail them an application, answer any questions they might have. If they want to come and observe, we have monthly meetings with our volunteers so they can be a part of that. If they want to shadow a volunteer, we could do that as well, just so they know what they're getting themselves into. Yeah.
Do the volunteers have training?
Yes. Yes.
What type of training do they?
So we give them in terms of just learning about the program, and then we help them to kind of prepare for what they're going to see, who they're going to be interacting with in the classroom, and the students and the teachers. So we have about a 30-page handbook that we go through, and we show videos and real-life situations, so the volunteers leave and they're ready and they're equipped,
yeah,
once they
prepared.
go out there. Right, right.
So I noticed you put on your brochure here. You have vacation. They get paid vacation.
Right.
And sick
So
leave?
for every hour of service that they provide, they're earning leave time. So they can accumulate that leave time. So often, if they want to take a few weeks off and travel or just take a break, depending on how much leave they've accumulated, they can still be earning the stipend.
And so I noticed here you said it's for the people that are on limited income.
Correct.
So what happens if somebody makes more than that $27,340 per person per year?
Right.
Would they not get the stipend?
Right.
They can still volunteer.
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
I
Right.
qualify. You said minimum 55 years of age. I'm 56.
Right.
I just kind of have a hard time carving out 15 minimum hours a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a commitment.
It really
It
is.
really is. But I know that the corporation has done numerous studies, and they have found that to really make an impact on the person, that commitment and that span of time is what will do it.
The 15.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right. Because if there's no structure, or if you just do like 1 hour a month or
Yeah.
once a week, I mean, I'm not saying that that's not good, because any volunteering is good, but it depends on what you want to get out of it.
Yeah. And it
Right.
seems like the more time you put into it, they trust you. And especially if you're working with children that don't really have a lot of authoritative figures at home,
Right.
they might not respect. So I think if you do come in and let them know, no, this is their best practice. This is what we're going to do today. They love structure. They like routine.
That's a very good point. And I'd like Rosalie to kind of elaborate a little bit more, because she has a really sweet story to share about this student that she helped last year. And I never get tired of hearing
Yes,
the
Rosalie,
story.
let's
So,
hear it.
yeah.
Well, it was last year, and it was first grade. And like I said, about 3 weeks into school, the teacher was saying that this person, I think you could work with him, and this one. So it was a boy. I won't mention his name, but I always call him Akamai. But so I worked with him, and he couldn't focus. I thought he was very smart, and they're all so cute, and they're lovable. All these kids are so lovable. And so I thought, racking my brain, what can I come up with to get him motivated more than anything? It's not that he can't do it. It's motivated and focus. So I thought, what can I do? So then I said, Akamai, I saw something on the back of your neck. And I said, you can't see it, but I can. And there's a button back there. And if I press that button, you know what's going to happen? And he just looked at me and I says, your brain turns on. So I called the button instead of, I told Susanne, I was going to call the button magic button, but I thought that's just, they use that for everything. So nowadays everything is smart. So I said, that's your smart button. And Auntie controls that button, okay? So I pressed it on, and it was just like a light bulb went on, and he said, now my brain is working. I can feel it. So I work with him. That's the child that I work with all year. And then when he'd go home after school, I said, now I'll turn it off. Oh, no, because I have to do my homework. I go, yes, you do.
It's great you allowed him to use his imagination.
Yeah, imagination. And he's the child at the end of the year when they did assessments, and all the children, they're real supportive, even at that age. Mm-hmm. They know the kids that are really smart and the ones that are falling behind and maybe don't get it. So when he passed his assessment, they just all jumped up and applauded. They were so happy for him. And now he's in second grade, and so I asked his classmates, how is he doing? He's so smart. He's so smart. And I said, all right, on. But he always comes and sees me in cafeteria, wherever he sees me comes.
You give him that positive self.
Oh, yeah. And that's just why I come back every year.
So did you have background in education, and what's your background?
Well, I worked at Waikoloa Resort on the Big Island for almost 30 years.
Wow.
I was administrator there. Yeah.
But do you have experience with children? Because I noticed that
I have my own.
Okay, then it has to be it, because I know that when we have our own children, you're more patient. I'm
more patient with these than I think I was with my own.
Oh, were you?
But then my grandchildren are grown too. They're in college so they're not little anymore. But I like this.
Because I know when my mom, she volunteers, and when she reads to the children, it's like an imagination that all of a sudden just the pages of the book, the characters jump out. And I don't remember her being like that with us, but it's like, Mom, you're so good at this. I mean, this is your passion. This is your calling. And she's like, yeah, I feel like I have a purpose. And so she does it 5 times a week. And just reads. And she's an avid reader anyway. So it's just amazing. You see these little characters start dancing off the pages. And it's just that imagination just really, they just look at her with these eyes that are like, wow, I didn't know that Pinocchio could do this, or just something, that imagination.
Well, Rosalie, your story is so cute. We should put that in a magazine, But Suzanne, so you said over 100 volunteers. What are some of the backgrounds of the volunteers that have in their program?
It really varies. I mean, some of them have some educational background. They might have done some tutoring or teaching. Some of them have been in maybe paraprofessional or professional positions. and some of them have no experience at all with children. And it's just a desire to give back, you know, to stay active, to do something productive. So yeah, and it's always interesting to hear about them and their past, and you know what was part of their life, what was their career like, and where they're at now. Right.
How do you get a school involved? Let's say, I mean, how does it, or if a school is, or somebody that is like a principal listening now?
They can contact us. If it's a Department of Education school, we have a memorandum of understanding with the department. So any school we can partner with. And it's just a matter of having a desire to have a volunteer there. And we would work with, sometimes it's the principal, sometimes it's the PCNC.
What's that?
Yeah.
It's oh God, I don't
That's
know what
okay.
that acronym stands for, but it's a position in the school that I guess coordinates maybe different programs or different people
Okay.
coming in on campus. Sometimes it's a counselor, sometimes it's the vice principal. It just depends. And so we would work with that person to first of all identify the teachers that could use the help, and then we would place the volunteer and then kind of get things rolling.
I would think every teacher would say, me, you know, especially since our schools are a little bit overcrowded.
Yes.
And we don't get that one-on-one. And so children tend to fall through those cracks. I know
That's a good point. Right
yeah,
there.
my mom, she had a friend that was a second grade teacher, and Monday through Friday, when my mom retired, she would go and help her out. And it was just that little bit of, you know, having that adult in the room to say, we're going to do this today. Or come on, let's sit over here. We're going to read this book. Or turn your chair around because we need to pay attention. It's just that second eyes in the back of your head, I guess.
Exactly. And as I was saying too, having that grandparent in the classroom, they're like a safe person. I'm not saying the teacher isn't safe, okay? But she's busy, right?
Yes,
She's
very
educating
busy.
all of her kids. So a lot of my volunteers will tell me that they'll come to them for everything. You know, like I had an accident. I this is what happened at home last night. You know, just these little things, and they feel safe.
Right. You know, they're not going to
Talking,
get yelled at.
right, right.
Well, and it seems like that you give them that positive image. So they are feel comfortable and come up and say, you know, I need to go shishi, or this is what happened, and can you go with me? Or well, of course you're going to go, but you know, it's just being confident enough to talk to older
They do.
adults.
They
too.
confide in you. And then the teacher that I work with last year and this year, we've become very close. And I try to help her. I kind of read her what she needs, and she's very organized and a wonderful teacher.
But I'm sure you're a great resource for her
But
too.
I hope so. But we work good together. We do.
Good. I bet they give you the best hugs too.
They do.
Well, I'm sure you're going to be there more years over there. Blanche, was that Blanche Pope?
Blanche Pope
Blanche
Elementary,
Pope.
yeah.
You plan on being here for a few more years?
Hopefully, I'd like to.
Good.
I would like to.
So anyway, if you want to be a role model, a mentor, or a friend to our keiki here in Hawaii, contact the Foster Grandparent Program. Now, on Oahu, your office, Susanne, is 832-5169.
Okay.
But you have an office on every island as well?
Well, Kauai,
Kauai.
And-
Kauai is 241-3355.
and then on the Big Island.
Big Island is 933-8635. And Maui County, 83.
That's our number,
That's
yeah.
your number, 832-5169. But yeah, give Suzanne a call, because if you're interested, you know, they give you a small stipend as long as you make a certain amount of income, but you get mileage, you get meals, you
get a purpose.
vacation. But it's really about giving back.
True.
Yeah.
It
So
is.
Rosalie, I give you, great kudos, and thank you so much to give back to the kids out of Waimanalo, you know. But yeah, Suzanne, maybe we should do, if we haven't done a story on her, we should look at doing a story on the magazine.
Love to.
Yeah, great. So thank you very much. So anyway, this is only the first half of Generations Radio. Our next half will be talking about a very unique program as well. These are for volunteers, senior volunteers. It's called RSVP. I'm sorry, the Senior Companion Program. That's right. Suzanne reminded me. RSVP is another program. There's so many programs out there, but this one is the Senior Companion Program. So we're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back with Ann Holton from the Senior Companion Program. Thanks so much, ladies.
Thank
Thank you very much. We'll take a short break.
I'm down for the memory. Like a moonlit flame in time.
We will be right back with Percy Ihara from Generations Radio. If you have any questions or want to be part of our discussion, give us a call at 296-5467. That's 296-5467. This is Generations Radio on AM 690 The Answer.
Did you know 26 million Americans have kidney disease and most don't know it?
The day I was diagnosed, I didn't know what to do. I called the National Kidney Foundation, and the young lady who answered stayed on the phone with me and walked me through step by step. She too was surviving kidney disease, and she showed me there could be life after kidney disease.
Visit the National Kidney Foundation at kidney.org. Now you know.
Moon Physical Therapy is here to help you back to recovery. Moon Physical Therapy is located on Ward Avenue across from Sports Authority. Physician prescribed for motor vehicle accidents, workman's comp, or that body pain that comes from rushing to play without warming up. Also event cardiopulmonary rehabilitation with our one-on-one patient care. Moon's Aquatherapy heated endless pool allows for low-impact exercise with less pain on land. We will give you the right exercises to get you back to health. Ask your doctor to prescribe Moon Physical Therapy. Moon Physical Therapy. We achieve results.
Aloha, this is Martha Clopin.
And Al Harrington. Choosing the right Medicare plan not only saves you money, it also helps you avoid headaches and heartaches down the road.
We want to remind everyone
to listen to a Medicare Moment with Martha, Sundays from 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. as we help answer important questions on Medicare so you can stay healthy, wealthy, and wise all year long.
Call me at 543-2073, 543-2073.
I was an addict from the age of 13. I finally decided it was time for a change. I walked into the Salvation Army Adult Rehabilitation Center, and that got me ready for the real world. Now, I choose to be guided by Jesus Christ, and today, I'm building a powerful and promising future, free from drugs and alcohol.
Please shop at the Salvation Army family stores. With our discounted sales, your support through your purchase helps men live a clean, sober, and productive life.
Got Vegas on your mind? Get Vacations Hawaii on the line. Vacations Hawaii offers weekly 4 and 5 night Honolulu to Vegas packages, which include 3 meals daily from $6.99. Stay at Hawaii's favorite casinos: California, Fremont, Main Street Station, and Orleans Hotel. Vacations Hawaii will get you there in comfort on deluxe wide-body 767 planes with complimentary in-flight hot meal service. Vacations Hawaii's frequent flyer program gives you future travel discounts and credits. So if you're ready to win big, call Vacations Hawaii at 591-4777 or visit PointVacationsHawaii.com.
Today, more than ever, we local people are living longer than any other state in the Union, with more seniors, baby boomers, and caregivers. Generations Radio promotes the importance to be proactive as we all age. The radio team will focus on issues facing our seniors and their families, finding resources to navigate healthy aging along with financial, legal, and caregiving information. So join Percy Ihara from 5 until 6 each Saturday, right here on AM 690 The Answer. Focusing on the issues facing our seniors and their families today. Here's our Generations Radio host, Percy Ihara.
So welcome back to our Generations Radio here on this, depending what day you're listening to, Saturday from 5 to 6, Sunday from 3 to 4, here on AM 690, The Answer. And we're here with Melissa Mansfield, my local gerontologist girl here from Ultras Medical. So our first half, we talked about, Foster Grandparent Program.
Mm-hmm.
My brain's not working today.
Intergenerational.
Intergenerational. And this half, we're going to do about the Senior Companion Program. So Melissa, introduce our guests.
So we have Ann Holton.
Hi.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And Joreen Budig.
Correct.
I
Thank
love
you.
that last name. Is it French?
German.
German. Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
So, Anne, tell us a little bit about the Senior Companion Program.
Well, we're based here in the Department of Human Services, which is state government, and our funding comes through the Corporation for National and Community Service, which is part of the Senior Corps. So we're actually a sister program of the Foster Grandparent Program. Our target group is the same, like Jareen, 55 and, well, actually I also fit the demographic myself. 55 and older, living on limited income, and we do pay a small non-taxable stipend for the time that they serve. To receive the services, you just have to be 55. There's no income eligibility to receive the services at all.
To receive the services.
Correct.
But to be a companion, there is.
There's an income eligibility of $27,100, and if you meet that income eligibility, you will qualify for the non-taxable stipend, which doesn't impact any of the benefits that you might be receiving, for example, food stamps or housing allowances.
It's just like the other foster grandparent program.
Exactly.
Very similar.
Exactly. The same
good.
framework. It's just that our target group, our target population is different. Where the foster grandparent program works with special needs children, our program serves to support and provide companionship for lonely, isolated, and perhaps frail seniors 55 and older living in the community in their own home.
And you're a statewide program as well, right?
We have a heavy core of volunteers on Oahu. We also have representatives on Maui and on the Big Island.
Oh, we're going to get Kauai going then.
I know. So if anybody has family on Kauai, please call me.
Well, we are statewide with AM
perfect.
690. I know there's certain pockets here and there that we can't get it depending on where you live, but we are statewide. So yeah, that's what we try to do with the radio show, is to really bring out all these programs and services. So when I saw you guys last week, I said, Melissa, we got to get them on. I was texting Melissa, we need to get these guys on the radio show. But
for sure.
I'm glad you're here, because that's what we really want to do and try to get more volunteers. So
yeah. Definitely, we want to extend the reach of the program to engage seniors like Jareen to give back to the community. Because what we're finding is most seniors are already doing it. They're already giving back to their communities. They're already committed to their friends and family in providing supportive visits. So our take on it is, why not earn the stipend? And if you're still a driver, why not earn the mileage? And we also pay a small meal allowance. If you serve a client for 3 hours or more during the course of a day, we pay a very small meal allowance as well. So my take on it is, you're already doing the work. Why not earn a small
paid?
Right.
Yeah, I met a gentleman. I actually joined Toastmasters for public speaking. And I met this wonderful gentleman. He was about 65, taking care of a friend for the last 3 years. And he said, he was a retired physician. He's like, you know what? This has been my greatest legacy, is taking care of someone that I love. And he's like, I don't get paid. He's like, it's just my honor to give back and to give to my friend.
Yep.
So it was just, to me, that's the most compassionate thing that, to give as a volunteer. So, Jareen, tell me a little bit about your experience as a volunteer.
It's been good. Each client's been different, and actually I benefit from it because I learn a lot, because one day I'm going to be there.
Yes.
Not only the needs, but also any information that's out, that helps them, helps me. And then too, sometimes I share that information with my friends. Did you know about Medicare? Blah, blah, blah.
Little tidbits that we learn from each other.
Otherwise, I just went on Medicare this last year, so a lot of that was all Greek to me. And you going to the seminars, going to the workshops, it's very beneficial. And then once a month in the meetings, we have a guest speaker coming in. We do learn a lot. I learn a lot from my clients. And each client's different. There's no two clients alike. So, you got to be versatile, what their needs are. And you end up being their family.
Because a lot of people are aging alone.
Yeah. I mean, I've had clients that are alone, but then I also have clients had clients that had family. But your client doesn't want to involve the family. I mean, two reasons. They want the family to think they can do things on their own, or they don't want the family to take over it, or they just don't want to confide them or bother them.
So what would be the normal or some tasks that you would provide, or a companion would provide to a senior?
Assist them to go to medical appointments, go shopping.
Important.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, shopping's the biggest thing. She's no
Because
longer.
they can't drive, so they want you to pick them
Well,
up.
it's not only that. Either they're physically or vision impaired. So, like if you have a client that's in a wheelchair, they can't go shopping, they can't take things off the shelf, or they, can't push the cart, or visually impaired, they have no idea what's on the shelves. So I have
You're
a
their
client-
eyes for them.
Yes.
And you can reach and the
Yes.
mobility.
And sometimes it's a little on the back, but you know what? When you get to their home, they'll go, thank you. I had such a wonderful day. Just to take them shopping, it gets them out of the house. They get to make the choice what they want to buy, not what the family wants to buy.
That's a good point. So you do like once a week when you go shopping? Is that normal?
Yeah.
How often do you volunteer?
I have 2 clients. I do 4 days a week. And then sometimes if we have to rearrange a schedule, that maybe something goes on with one of them, I need to. So I have an open day so I can be flexible with them. So I see 1-2 times a week. And I see both of them twice a week.
Okay. That's a good amount of time.
And we do ask for a commitment when they sign on as senior companions that they serve 15 hours minimum per week. And one client can receive up to 12 hours a week. So if you do the math, at minimum, they would have 2, possibly 3 or 4 clients during
Okay.
the course. So we do pay the stipend for a minimum of 15 hours per week, but up to 40. And believe it or not,
Wow.
we do have
Really?
some of our volunteers do want to be fully engaged. And so they do nearly 40 hours a week.
Wow. And there's no cost to the senior. Is that
No,
correct?
it's a free service. So the only requirement is that they be 55. And there's no income eligibility at all. So it is a free service. So it's just one of many services that helps sustain somebody in their own home for a little longer.
So how are you folks funded? From the community care bill or through federal funds?
It's basically through the corporation, which is the federal government. So through the corporation and senior corps, that's where we get our grant money. And that's where we get our stipend and our meals.
And so you have room for more volunteers?
Oh, definitely. And through attrition, you can understand that we're always recruiting.
Or if the
Yeah.
volunteers are seniors themselves?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So about how many do you have now?
On Oahu, we have approximately 70. And on the Big Island, we have 9. And on Maui, we have 6. So we're always looking to expand the reach of the program for both clients and for companions. So it's a very valuable service. And when you combine companionship, it provides the socialization and it feeds the emotional part of a senior aging alone, or maybe whose family members work 8 to 10 hours a day. And it's a real vital service because like Jareen says, a lot of them are aging alone. And the prime example I can think of is people retire to Hawaii when they're in their younger retirement age. And here they are 20, 30 years old later.
Yeah.
And their social network has fallen by the wayside.
And the kids don't live here.
Yeah, the children don't live here. Or they lived here all their lives, but their children have now moved to the mainland or out of the country. And so by default, they're again aging
That's so true.
in isolation.
So we're here with Ann Holton and Jareen, one of the Budig one of the volunteers from the Senior Companion Program. So if you want to be a volunteer, there are a lot of room for volunteers on every island, by the way.
Yes, yes.
If you have some time, and you'll be serving other seniors, right? And it's really important, I think, because we're an island, we can't, your kid's not going to drive. Like in California, you can drive to Arizona or Vegas, right, to help out, but not in Hawaii. So I think it's really, really important. So what do you get out of everything, Jareen?
Well, I get a lot of pleasure sometimes when you leave your client, and they go like, oh, it's time for you to go home already? No. Or they'll say, oh, I had such a wonderful day. It just, that's what gives you the energy of keep on going, because they're very pleased and happy, and they know they're fortunate that they have a companion, because there's many times they don't know what to do, when to do. You know, if there was a situation, a lot of times now with the new phone system, press this, press that, press this. Some of the elderly seniors, you know, they can't make phone calls or can't call to check up on something. You know, they get kind of lost in this new technology. And, you know, with their bills and stuff like that, you know, they just, it's
fall behind. Yeah.
They fall behind, or they don't understand, or maybe they're being charged for something they shouldn't have been charged for. I don't know. I just get a lot of good feeling when I'm helping somebody. And of course, I've helped people all my life.
So caregiving has been in your background.
Very much so.
Yeah.
When I was a little girl.
Oh, okay. So you've had your whole life to.
Because my grandmother was confined to a wheelchair. They lived out on the farm. You know, Grandpa and them were out in the fields. So it's summertime or holidays, we always got put at Grandpa and Grandma's to help Grandma.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, through the years, you know, it's just kind of I worked in nursing homes, and I did other types of work but mainly I was like a lead person or a supervisor where you're still helping people. So whether they're old or young, you're helping, and you just feel, I don't know, it's kind of a glow when you come home, like, oh, did you have a good day? Yeah.
Yeah. So you're a great example because you've had that background. But tell me a little bit, and does a lot of volunteers come with that background? And do you train?
Yeah, a lot of our volunteers are already civically engaged and are already helping either members of their families, people in their neighborhood, or members of their congregation at church. It just becomes a really natural transition for them. And so the corporation wants to capitalize on this ready resource that we have within our reach in the community, and to facilitate that connection between maybe somebody who's needing either temporary or long-term companionship. Because a lot of times we find that our companions are the only warm body that they speak to during the course of the day. So if they're living with family members head out at 6 o'clock in the morning and don't get home until 6 or 7 at night, that's 12 hours all alone.
Right.
And sometimes you don't want to eat because it's too much effort, or real local local style eating is so much a social issue. It's more than just taking a meal. It's being able to enrich somebody else's life. And so that's what we find is that opportunity to connect with another human being. And so that's what we find is the greatest value. But yeah, seniors are a tremendous resource, and all of our volunteers come to us with the wanting and the need to connect with other people.
Well, it's great because with the baby boomers retiring,
Yes.
they're going to be provided an opportunity. So how do you reach out to them?
So we find that a lot, because I'm a boomer myself, so I've got a 91-year-old mother. So knock on wood, she's very healthy and quite independent, but she no longer drives. She hasn't been driving for about 12 or 15 years. So we go out together and we do shopping together, which gives us an opportunity to interact and catch up on each other's lives. So definitely boomers are probably still caregivers as well. I mean, and they have probably grandchildren as well to contend with. So we're hoping to evolve the program to do more interaction with the boomer population and signing them on as volunteers as well. Yeah.
No, it's a great market. I know a lot of them want a second career or to have that volunteer experience.
So it's a program that's been around for 40 plus years. So we're not a new program, but I feel like maybe we're at a cusp of changing some of the program goals. Because I think a generation ago when the program first came to light, I think it was a little bit different market, so to speak. And so we're trying to grow the program and make appeals to the boomers to bring on a newer generation of seniors.
Yes.
And I think there's a real opportunity there to grow the program.
Yes, absolutely.
I think baby boomers are the ones that are really going to
give back
more because they grew up, with going to the moon, John F. Kennedy, the Peace Corps, saving the world. I mean, I really do believe in that. You're finding a lot of very wealthy billionaires giving away 90% of their wealth to nonprofits. Bill Gates and his Murdoch buddy started a group of billionaires that they give away 90%. It's a club. It's a sign on a contract saying they're going to give away 90% of their wealth.
Yep. No, and there's something to be said when you actually take the time to listen to a senior. I tell Percy all the time, my biggest joy is when I'm volunteering and I'm playing bingo and I'm pulling down the numbers, then I always get teary-eyed, and then they look at me and say, thank you. It's that joy that always makes me want to come back.
And that's definitely the plus for the senior, but you also walk away from the situation, and I'm sure Doreen could probably share a lot of stories like that, where you leave learning so much more about life in general, but also about the history of living in Hawaii for all of their lives, 80 plus years. And it's just an enriching opportunity to learn something beyond your normal circle of friends that you wouldn't otherwise be able to. And that's the treasure that I've enjoyed through all the years of working in gerontology, is learning a lot about history that you can read about in books, but it's not on a personal level, and you get to learn personal stories, and you get to look at old pictures, which is something that I've always enjoyed. And that's a real mechanism that I'm sure Doreen has employed in getting to know her client, is share your life with me. Tell me about what it was like 50, 60 years ago when you were raising your family. And by learning those stories, you get to know your client better, and it makes it a lot more enriched and a lot deeper, because now you know so much more about that person, which is part of being an interactive. Doreen, without naming any clients, you could maybe share a story about one of those examples.
Oh, I have many. Some of the clients I no longer have because of situations that either passed away or gone on a home. I mean, some of my clients were from the mainland, but some of them were from here, born here. So, and that, I had a gentleman, and he was very, very familiar with the island. And sometimes we'd go around and he'd point things out to me, like, oh, there's that place, or there's, we even went up to, I believe it's in the cemetery on top of the hill. Punchbowl. He even took me up there, and like, wow.
It's beautiful up there.
Yes. Sorry to say he's no longer my client, but, it's just like you feel so good, He's getting to do things that he doesn't want to do alone. And, you just feel so good about it.
Yeah. No, as humans, we want that companionship. We're not meant to be alone.
Yeah. He had friends, but that was different, He wanted to show me around. He was out of the ordinary. He still drove.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But, he would like, well, where would you like to go? Where would you like to see, And like, he was just a very
He was like
wonderful.
your own personal tour guide.
Yeah.
With a little extra benefit of a story behind it.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I know. There's other clients, that have been totally different than what he is. And when you help somebody, my one client, physically she could not do anything for herself. And there was a neglect for her hair. And she was very proud of the way she looked. So we would wash and do her hair, and she would go out in Lanai, and she would just parade herself around in her wheelchair. She was so proud of herself, and it just a little bit of attention. It's just changed the world for her.
Yeah, you provided her dignity back.
Yeah, and then other people go, oh, she looks so nice. She looks so nice. Those are the special things that make you feel good.
Yep. No matter how old we get, we still want our nails done.
Exactly.
We still want our hair done.
No, I do want once a month trip up there.
Yep.
When you look good, you
feel good.
And it is important, especially for the ladies, that they're very prim and proper, proper.
And it's that generation, too. You didn't leave the house without your makeup.
Right.
Or your hair done. Or you're dressed to the nines.
Right. Yeah, and it has everything to do about feeling good about yourself.
It does.
There's nothing worse than saying, "Oh, never mind, no one will notice." Of course, the most important person who'll notice is me, and so allow me that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the relationship between our companions and our clients is that yes, you are important, and if you want to take that extra 10 minutes to go put on your makeup, then you should.
So how do you match up your volunteers with the senior?
We have partnerships with volunteer stations. So our office has the responsibility of recruiting and training seniors. And once we clear, we do have a very thorough criminal history record check, which is part of our requirement. As you well imagine, we do work with vulnerable seniors, so we want to make sure everything is clear and safe for the client. We also pay for an annual physical exam because we want to make sure that all of our companions...
The volunteer?
Right.
Wow.
We pay for a physical exam, and once we've cleared all the pre-service requirements, then we assign them to our volunteer stations, which are our care provider partners. And so we do establish MOUs, or Memorandum of Understanding, with agencies in the community that provide actual senior supportive services, case management agencies, and they are in the know with who amongst their clients need companions, and they actually do the partnering. So they are the ones who do the actual care plan, because every client that we serve has a very individualized care plan.
The case managers, that's it.
Yeah, the case
Well,
managers.
it's the client, case manager, and yourself.
Okay.
So you're like the three of you are
Sit down.
together,
Partner
and then
together.
you discuss what they need. Is this okay? So the care plan's written up between the three of you.
And they all sign off on it.
Yes.
And then it comes to the office. So it's an agreement of hours, agreement of days, and agreement of the tasks. So some of the particular more common tasks, Jareen, that you would normally do would be, I know you said escort, simple meal prep,
Yeah.
medication reminders.
Or medication renewals that they can't call in to refill or whatever. They're just the renewals, or the meals. If they assist you to make meals for them, and a lot of them, they want certain things to eat, but they can't do it themselves.
Right.
So the two of you are in kitchen like mother and daughter, or dad or
Best
daughter.
friends.
Or a lot of times when we do go out, oh, is this your daughter? I'm like, yeah, no, yeah, you.
No, that's a great program. It's like you all of a sudden have a new best friend to help you out.
Yeah, it's more than a best friend. You're actually part of their family. Actually, I think sometimes we're closer to the client than what the client is if they have any family, because they can sit down and like, oh, what's wrong today, and then they'll just
tell you everything.
Everything, and they're like, oh, I really don't want to know all this, but they but they feel better,
Right.
I mean, it isn't that we make this the decisions what to do. We can tell them, give them little hints. Well, why don't you try this or try
Options.
that? Yeah. So, I mean, we probably know more about our clients than what the family really knows, because you do come very, very close
with them.
Yes.
And then you do have the added benefit of not having that history. Perhaps sometimes that history sometimes gets in the way. And so you become friends without all that history before, and so it doesn't...
No judgment.
Yeah.
So, Ann, we got about one more minute,
Okay.
minute and a half left. And now I know you go out and do presentations to promote the program, but how do people get a hold of you? How do they find out more about this senior
Definitely.
companion program?
Give us a call. We're at 832-0340, which is our main trunk line. Again, that number is 832-0340. That'll ring our office number, and we'd be more than happy to talk to you by phone. If you belong to a group, whether it be a civic group, a social group, a church group, we're always willing to go out and do presentations in the community. We can send you some literature by mail as well. We do have an application process that we can also put in the mail. We also work all the senior fair events in the community as well. So we always have a table. So if next time you're at a senior fair, come look for the senior companion table.
Otherwise, contact us in a magazine. We'll get you all that information, because you don't have a website, though? So
There's a DHS website.
Department of
Department of
Human
Human
Services.
Services,
Okay,
right.
well, great.
But definitely, at some point, we need to be in Generations
Yeah, we gotta
magazine.
get, you got to get a story in there. Jareen, thank you so much for what you do and
Thank
just
you.
being part of our community. And thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's such a great program. So anyway, we're here every Saturday from 5 to 6, Sunday from 3 to 4. We have programs like this all year long. And thanks to my co-host, Melissa Mansfield, our local gerontologist. I hope you're learning enough every day, every week.
I do. And what I love most is I get to meet wonderful people and hear
Yeah.
wonderful stories. So thank you for this opportunity.
All right. Aloha and live well, everybody.